Good morning, everybody. We're back. How's everyone? How is everyone doing? Yep, so CPI kind of threw everything lower. I'm gonna mark out last week's low, of course. What do we think it opened? We're already dropped like 300 points since London. We took out Wednesday's low. Okay, so this is Monday's low. And also those look like kind of like equal lows on the hourly. Don't need any of this. It's from Friday. Previous week high yesterday. We already have a large candle forming today. These equal lows, 4 hour. We're down about 1.78% on NQ right now. Okay. This is London high. 960s. So we're down 300 points. How's everybody doing? Morning. Yeah, looks like ICT stopped by earlier to say good luck, which is nice. He's doing really good on his Robbins challenge. I believe I just saw showing his statements. Yeah, I don't know why people make up some BS. It's crazy. Same person trying to make BS about me, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Got my community behind me and everything. Yesterday, like, I honestly, like, on Sunday night, I was looking at the calendar, and I was like, it's the day before CPI, and in the morning there's no news. One of my friends on Twitter was like, hey, you don't really have to stream if there's no news and things like that, and I was just, I needed a little bit of a break, so it's essentially what I did. I just slept in yesterday morning. That's where I was, if everybody was, to you guys who were wondering in the chat. But it was pretty good because the afternoon provided some short. So, yeah, I mean, on Friday, honestly, I overtraded in the afternoon. I don't know why. I was just overtrading. I ended up green that day, but I was rewarded for it. So I'm basically, since like on stream, like my performance is a little bit off. Like I'm definitely going to take it slow, size slower, size down, and just like, the focus is to get to payout, keep the accounts, etc. Like I said, what do I want to show? I already showed this on like whatever it is, Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I put on Instagram like the night before on my story. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be live yesterday morning, so if you want to be updated there, that's where I sometimes post about that stuff. Like it's like a casual announcement. Freaking Harry Potter, you need to stop. You need to stop doing that. It's not Harry Potter. But anyway, so on my funded account, I'm up 3,400. The buffer for that is like until the thing stops trailing is 4,600. I need 1,200 more. But like February has not been the best month for me. It's been a little bit off. This day, Tuesday, it's actually told me that Tuesdays are not my best day, like my worst day actually, so I'm gonna chill. Although it's like maybe think I have like 15 trading days here, something like that. But yeah, definitely overtraded on Friday. But yesterday afternoon, uh, brought us back up decently. But I'm just definitely gonna size lower on this. My worst trade is -800. My best trade's that. At least one thing I like from this dashboard, it literally like tells me. At least I cut my losing trades quick. Except for this. This is actually lunch. I was looking into this. This is when I decided to hold on to like a lunch hour trade instead of scalping. That was not going to do that. But for the most part, I cut my trades quickly. Right, I get stopped out of less than 10 minutes, and my winners I hold for longer. So that's basically how it works well for me. But yeah, it's not been the smoothest of sailing. Um, what do I want to say? But yeah, I do like their dashboard room. That's why at least it's like you literally don't like if if you don't have like a journal yourself, you'll get like the bare minimum there, or like pretty good actually, more than the minimum, but like pretty good. Um, yeah. Oh, but what else I wanted to say is that people have been asking for their 30K static to get back, and it is back now, just for a limited time though, until the 15th. So I actually did pass one of them yesterday. But the static is good because it's one of the few accounts on the market right now where it does not trail. So I don't know if you can even see that, but like literally, um, you only need to make 2,100, and your drawdown's 1,500, and you can trade up to 20 micros. That's what I like. They don't like limit you to the minis, and they don't let you over leverage really in that sense. So after you make like let's say $300, now your drawdown the next day is 1,800. So that's why I like that. It's pretty much one of the easier accounts to pass right now. It's only available until the 15th, but also you can use code static30 or Tanya Trades for 30% off. If you use my code, it's basically going to give you the best discount all the time. But like basically, don't gamble this because it's only one per customer. Or else then you'll have to pay like $300 for the next one. One use per customer. The reason why is because it's literally like one of the easier ones to pass, and you can get pretty far with it in the funded stage, right? You build up that buffer. You don't even need to build up a buffer. So like after you withdraw, it just stays at 2,800 forever. But yeah, people have been asking for that back, so they listened. But anyway, it's basically dropped a lot. It's gonna be difficult. We have these equal lows. Yes. Yeah, we basically took out this original consolidation here. Fortunately, a lot of times CPI will hit some draw on liquidity. What does that mean? That means that I don't think much will happen until like after 10, really, right? Hourly, first distribution, second distribution. Like, yes, these lows are not like as equal as NQ, but we will also put last week's low. Mark out last week's low. It's only Tuesday, it's quite the candle already. You don't really have to get there, honestly. Last week's low. We already hit like the last 3 days lows, like we hit Thursday, Wednesday low. I'm just gonna wait and see. The XY is really interesting. Oh lord. Okay, so that's actually really interesting, right? It's violating all the bearish PDRAs. Held the bullish ones. This is essentially like yesterday. What I saw at this time that helped me with my shorts is that I saw this bounce on this order block in fair value gap here. And a lot of the times when there's like an 1 hour order block in fair value gap like stacked, like that's a pretty high probability area to bounce. So give me an idea for bearish for indices. Anyway, so far on the daily looks like it was holding that fair value gap quite well, right? It refused to displace over a previous day low, closed below low, held this fair value gap. Now it's closing above range. We'll see if it closes today above the range, I wonder. Or will it just wick like every other time? Okay, we don't need this. Yeah. 4 hour. It was being held down by this 4 hour fair value gap on order block, but now it's like violated things. So we'll have to see what ends up happening, but you know, bullish structure. Okay, it's open. Let's see what's happening. NQ. I don't really have that many high expectations. I feel like every day I've been saying that from the morning, right? The mornings just not have been the easiest to trade. We have some oatmeal. What am I doing here? It's my ES chart. Okay. Okay. I want to see if we like end up hitting that last week's low on NQ. We hit that at open. It's honestly like I'm really not gonna think like there's gonna be much to do. What the heck is in my oatmeal? What is that? It's like a piece of apple. It's fine, but it was like I don't know. Not much going on. Huge move at CPI, go figure. Yes, his initial consolidation here. Yeah, I'm waiting. It feels like one of those things where it's like you have to, like, prices gyrating and price discovery, and you have to, like, wait for the market to show its hand because it hit a target in pre-market, which means, like, the first hour is gonna probably not be good. You don't want to really rush when we moved, like, so much. On ES, we moved 50 points. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. What's going on? God help me. I just read the funny comment. Okay. The static account is back. Yeah. Okay. Did I trade on CPI news time? No. That's very much gambling. Unless you're already like holding overnight position that's in profit, I guess, but still it's very difficult. What prop firm was I talking about? It's the one pinned. It's in the description and it's pinned in the chat. Is that connected to my broker? Yeah. Yeah, good morning. Mentality Man says, to be completely honest, I have no clue right now. All the bullish PDRAs, which I thought would hold, were disrespected, so I'm waiting for 10 a.m. at least. Maybe I won't even take a trade today. I mean, same here. Like, what am I gonna do? I mean, that's like basically one of the rules, right? Or one of the things where it's like, if it hits a huge target, then it's what are you gonna do? You just need to wait. It's literally like snowing a lot in New York, by the way. I'm like not about that. No thanks, no thanks. I'm not, but it is a lot. It's like a weather storm warning or whatever. I think the schools might be closed today. Let me click an alert there. Last week's low. I feel like it's definitely in my notes somewhere about this when we hit like a target in pre-market. I think it's probably from one of the early on 2023 mentorships. It's like not going to be any type of fast movement, honestly. What happened to open? Sort of just a tiny sweep here. We have like a little bit of an SFT there. Open where NQ dipped lower. I'm honestly good with just like watching it, even if it goes like higher without me, like whatever, you know. Someone said it might go back to weekly equilibrium. Could, definitely could. Especially since like we just on DXY we hit like a monthly, the middle of the monthly fair value gap, CE of that. So I don't know if it'll stall there and then indices will go higher. Midpoint of this monthly fair value gap. Between this and this. Yeah, good. And then, yeah, I mean, like the market, you have to think about like when the market's kind of like lopsided. Basically, I only want to trade when like the market is not at fair value, right? So far, we had what is Monday the high of the week or Tuesday? I think yesterday was high of the week, right? And today is Tuesday, so Monday high of the week. That's very interesting to me. Because, like I've said, honestly, like in the past, what I've noticed is that, like, for really big bullish weeks, the Monday has been the low of the week, like last week. I've noted that. Right, we're pushing higher on NQ just a bit. Like 50 points since that dip at open. Sometimes it is just best to wait, honestly. I'm good with waiting. What's up? Good morning. Do I auto sync my trade journal to my broker? It's already there. It comes with the prop firm for my funded futures, so I don't have to do anything with that one. But for Trade Zella, I upload it myself. Yeah, so I do think on the higher time frame it is likely bearish, right? Because DXY is disrespecting every bearish PD array. We've disrespected many bullish ones. Monday high of the week. But the question is like, where are we gonna retrace to before going lower? we could retrace quite deeply. And it's sort of like ES did complete this in my opinion. Right? Because this is like that leg up, this initial consolidation leg up, second leg up, third leg up, your smart money reversal, your first distribution, your second one. So we have to literally like wait for more accumulation to happen. I think like that's what it's gonna do, is like or more equal lows and highs and things like that. What's a PD? A PD array is a premium discount array. So it's like anything we talk about: fair value gaps, order blocks, rejection blocks, things like that. I'm gonna have some coffee. Do you guys think I have a New York accent? I've seen some people say I do, or it comes out when I say some things. And then some people say like where is it you don't have one? And it's like, what do you want me to say? Like, the coffee costs a quarter at the corner store? Most people don't really talk like that anymore. And some things I do hear it, like when I say like losses or something. I don't know. Hey, coffee. Does it stay in Staten Island, New York? And no, yeah, there. That's a heavy accent. That's where the Italians all live, right? No, comes out when you say that's a Boston accent. That is kind of funny when people confuse the two. I don't know exactly what the Boston one is a little different. EDA rate, premium discount rate, and a specific price point in time in which a trade entry could be made or closed. Yeah. Yep. I'm thinking about whether I should take the time to like write them out now, but maybe. Maybe premium over here and then like discount, right? So like typically the highest premium is like rejection block. This is if you are bearish. And then it's, hey, why can't I do that? Go to the next thing. Annoying. An order block. And then you have like mitigation block. It can be fair value gap. Fair value gap can kind of be anywhere. And then it can be breaker block. Right? It's typically what it is. Yeah. So like when you're like anticipating price to like retrace if you're going bearish, right? It could like retrace to any of these things. But the breaker block is going to be like the lowest. Why? Because like that's the low that was broken earlier. Like the order blocks are typically going to be higher up. The rejection block is going to be the highest. It's like just the way that things go. Anyway, there's like a good video on that in core content. Yep, price literally did jack. Literally did nothing. So I'm happy I didn't do anything right now. It's just wandering around. NQ, right? There is this SMT here. That's basically it, but what are you really gonna do right now? Yesterday was really, I can go over that. Like, this is where I really went into my short yesterday. Broke the low of the low here with fair value gap. Highlighted that. ES at the time was not near the low of the day, right? This was literally like second distribution, like in action right now. So in 50% level, there's a fair value gap here. The lows were not hit yet, and then DXY was bouncing on a order block and fair value gap there. So that was pretty nice. You can also go on the 1 minute to refine. So a lot of people, what they do, like they'll like wait for the reaction within this zone. So they'll wait for like a change in state delivery, which is when a bullish candle, an up close candle, is violated to the downside, right? Like typically with a fair value gap. So here it reached up into here, rejected, fair value gap here, and then I've seen a lot of people short this, and this as well. And then I went to like the PM lows yesterday, and quite the distribution. But literally, like, you don't even have to do that. Like, you could literally just go short in here and have your stop above this candle if you wanted to, like, or ES especially, right? We kind of broke this like previous order block here, and then create a fair value gap there, right? We inverted all of these like fair value gaps as well. So price is like balanced there, right? Could have just gone short here, stop there with lows. It depends on what your style is. Some people, they'll even go to the 30-second, 15-second. I feel like if it's a large range on the day, you really don't have to do that. Only times I really go to the 30-second or the 15-second are when, for example, I think like last CPI is pretty good example of when to do that, because if there's like a drawn liquidity that's yet to be met and like we're starting to expand, and you know it's a low, very fast run, so low resistance liquidity run, then sometimes that's when you kind of have to refine it and just get in on the smaller time frame, because on the 1 minute probably won't retrace. For the most part, like you can just stick to the 1 minute. Like a lot of people like that I know, they just do 5 and 15 also. Like that's where the higher probability stuff happens. You know, as long as like it is within your risk parameter. So like make sure if you're getting on like a 15-minute, let's say breaker block, fair value gap entry, unicorn entry, like note how much you have to put as your risk before your idea is wrong, right? Before you get stopped out, which is when like structure is broken, right? So note how many points that is. Sometimes it could be like nice 20, 25 points. Sometimes it could be like 50 points. So just, you can still go in, but like make sure your position size is correct. Some people are used to just like always going in with like, let's say like 1 or 2 minis, and then they realize too late that their stop has to be wide, right? Anyway, it doesn't look like that. I don't really think this is anything to write home about. I don't really think that this low is gonna hold. There's not much energetic to the upside for me to get involved, right? Look at ES, it's sad today. It's being sad. I wonder we can mark out, we have last week's this. I wonder if I should mark out the CE of that. Probably. There's like on a daily, there's like these volume imbalances. I wonder like if that lines up with anything on ES. On the weekly, does that line up with? It kind of does. So that's interesting, right? This like kind of is in the middle of this weekly wick where these volume imbalances start happening. right? There's no body between these candles, so we could come back into it again. Possible. Anything is possible. But literally, like, I think the morning session's not going to be good, right? Because we already hit previous 3-day lows. We hit this initial consolidation for ES. Doesn't seem like there's any acceleration happening. Yeah, DXY is holding up. Can someone recommend a good trading journal? TradeZella is a really good one. Link in the description. A lot of the like frequently asked questions you guys ask me, I organized the description, the journal, backtesting, trade copier, etc. So looks like we are dripping lower. NQ, kind of doing nothing. What's YM like? YM is down 1.2%. ES is down 1.4%, and NQ is down 1.8%. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Abraham. Zubir Mongol says, a silly question with a $10,000 account. How much stop loss in dollars is acceptable per trade? Is $600 stop loss per trade good? So I'm assuming that this is a personal account, right? 600, you're risking 6% of your account per trade, which is quite high. No, I think the maximum you should ever risk is 500 per trade then, 5% on your high conviction plays. But typically, I would probably go lower. I'd probably go like personally, I'd probably go 250 per trade. And I think like for the Robbins Cup, for example, I think ICT is risking like 125 per trade, risking 1.5%. You want to be careful. 600 is a lot. Do journal trades, yeah. Close it up, Tanya. Close it up. Somebody said like the 1 hour the draw is obvious. I mean, yeah, I have these equal lows here, right? However, like yes, we hit that, and we need to wait for like, you know, is it gonna really just retrace this little? I don't know. It's a large move overnight, so I'm like kind of okay with like missing that for now. But we can like mark out 10:30. It's about to be 10 o'clock, so we'll see what ends up happening. I don't really think this SMT means that much, especially since there was not really a proper, like if it hit like some sort of it really hit some sort of higher time frame PDRA for me to care about that so much on NQ, and I'd rather see like a breaker fair value gap on like the 5-minute then, because we hit these like hourly areas, hourly failure swing here. I'd rather just wait, you know. When is the next any kind of more news coming out today? Not really. Like such a large candle, previous candle. I mean, on this 4-hour chart now, right? The 4-hour candle now is about to close in 5 minutes. We're about 100 points above the low made there. And it's like, okay, where do you think like the next 4-hour candle is going to close? Probably inside candle. It's the hourly. Like, probably gonna be inside candles, in my opinion. You guys need to hit new low of the day over there, which is very weird. So now we don't really have that SMT anymore, right? And this, I'm not gonna now just say this is a bullish SMT. That makes no sense, right? Because it's like the NQ one should have been the one. So yeah, not much to write home about. There's no displacements on the 5 minute. When there's such a large move overnight. I mean, even from like London, right? From London to here was like pretty big, right? From London, it's like London highs 963, right? Yeah, that was already like a 150-point move even before CPI. And then CPI sent it lower like another 200 points. Yeah. So basically, what I wait for is like some kind of displacement on the 5. Now, price is honestly not showing its hand, right? Like the indices are out of sync. Let's see. Well, I have patience to wait. That's like my superpower. I can wait until the market shows it to me. Like, or that's what I'm forging that belief. Where like, I can wait. This is yes, nothing. Just dripping lower. I'm gonna daily volume imbalances. So, yeah, totally can go towards this. And then NQ go towards that, but like it's not really showing its hand to do that. So there's just like such a large SIBI here, sell side, imbalance buy side efficiency. What about the opening gap range? I mean, it's probably huge. It doesn't really mean it has to fill it all the way. Like when people say, like, the gap is gonna get filled, like, do they? I don't think they all, like, not all the way. It doesn't have to. You know, if there's a displacement towards it, and then some sort of order, like some sort of like structure supporting that, sure, maybe later I could get involved in that. That's true, but like right now I feel like if I were long, it would be not so relaxed. Let me like work on making this more visible. Command. You know if that's like a little better. Those people that keep asking me. Now you'll see the time frame here. Because a lot of people I'm always like basically trading NASDAQ or ES. Okay. Alright. It's a little better. I think someone said that there was like some sort of indicator that will give me, that will tell, they'll put it like in the center or something. Where's my watermark? What? Watermark. Patience, you can help enough. And on this one, I'll put NASDAQ and Q so that people know. What are we up to right now? We're up to March and QH. What? QH 2024. Technically, I have an exclamation point, but whatever. I was just looking here, and like on Ninja, it'll just tell you this 0324. Anyway, again, we very much have indices not in sync. It's like YM's going lower. Looking at YM, I don't really trade. Do you guys trade the Dow? I'm gonna ask. Put a little poll. I wonder if anyone here does. I've seen people say yes and no. Yeah, I have that watermark. I don't know what you guys are saying. It doesn't show that HEFX. So it show symbol info. It doesn't. Okay, let me take off this watermark then. It doesn't say it. Where does it say? Oh, it says it down here. Okay, lit then. Lit. Okay, and then I'm gonna. Hopefully it lets me. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take my other one. Yeah, I mean now I have the time to do that. Market's not doing much right now. But let me put in a little poll. Do you guys trade? Do you trade the Dow? US 30. Don't forget to grade the opening range gap. Thank you, Jones FX, for the donation. What? It's huge. I see it. I'll definitely. But I need some sort of displacement on the 5 minute at least, you know? Honestly, leave that like that, and then turn that on. There. That's good. No DAX. You trade? Okay, most people don't trade it. Yeah, I don't trade that either. They call it the Dirty 30 for a reason. $2,200 people watching and only 300 likes. Hit the like button. Anyway, there's really no displacement here. Let's see on the ES. It's literally doing nothing. Thank goodness did not do anything today. You know, hit the target and now the market's asleep, like as predicted. Like perhaps in the afternoon there might be a trade to maybe 50% of this. I don't know, but nothing yet. Not really. Okay, it's going lower here. Yes, again, new low of day. and Q starting to drip lower here. Put on like the NWOGs for a minute. Just let that load for a second. Interesting. Like eventually we could get there, yeah. This is an event horizon up here. YM, ES being the weaker ones, of course. And right now it's 10:05. Not really much has happened since open, so at least you haven't gotten chopped. What's like the market look like today overall? Yeah, this is what the heat map looks like right now. Not very good. Very red. Microsoft is the weakest right now. Interesting. I wonder what NVIDIA is. Do you guys say NVIDIA or is it NVIDIA? I think it's NVIDIA, right? Yeah, NVIDIA. Yeah, everything is pretty moderately red. The semiconductors weakest. What's this one? Oh, semiconductor equipment. Okay. It definitely feels like it's like digesting, like, not really great action. I've been saying that, but like, this is where it's like good to predict that at the open, to know that, and that only comes with like experience and seeing it. So you don't get involved. So that at this point, you're not in any trades, right? Like I didn't take a trade yet. Because I didn't want to, because it's not a good environment to put risk on the table, essentially, right? Instead of a lot of people probably trying to, any type of beginners might have tried to long this, right? Seeing like, oh, SMT, I'm gonna long this. Market structure shift long. No, don't do that. Especially, it just doesn't make sense to do that because what's your basis for long when DXY is respecting bullish PDRs? And also, it's just, I don't know, this can get filled later. It doesn't have to get filled right away. I have 10:30 marked out. We'll see if something happens like by then. I mean, at that time or something. Then it would have been an hour since the market has opened. Taking a look at different stocks here. Let's see. Hmm. So I'm looking at just like the different, like some different tech stocks here on the 15. And yeah, like you see, Google's down 1.6, Amazon's down 1.8, Tesla's down like 1%. We talked about this, but also what I also look at is this thing called the NYS tick. If you type in tick, cumulative tick. And this is kind of tells me some market internals. For example, like, it takes the total amount of stocks that are currently upticking and subtracting it from the ones that are downticking. So if it's in the negatives, you know, we're weak. Meanwhile, like if we're like sometimes it's just goes from positive to negative as we're downticking, but pretty much since the open we've been in negative territory here. Like, and I can probably find what was it the other day? It was a day that was like super bullish all day. Friday. In the afternoon at least. Yeah, Friday here. You can see. And this is, you don't do any structure with it, but like I just look at it as like kind of like a barometer. You see, like we stayed in this upper portion. I mark out like 0, negative 800, positive 800. And for the most part, stayed in the upper quadrant. And so a lot of times, if it's coming back and retracing to like neutral territory, then you can see, is that like internally healthy, or is it like starting to shift structure a bit? It's just a little bit of a internal thing. I don't really use it that much. I do look at it at the beginning of the day to see a little bit like a overall internal slash trend, right? So YM's just dripping lower. This is interesting. I have this marked out. There's no displacement here on the 5 for either of these, really. You know, this like small one here, but like what are you gonna do? Like, this isn't a discount, really big discount. You're really just gonna like short this versus what towards? Not really. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, on the 5-minute, there's no displacement on ES either. Look at the 3 for a minute there. I'm good. Gotta keep the gunpowder dry, right? What are people saying? Bullish draw on liquidity on NQ? Where? Like, where are you? Are you gonna go all the way up here? Doesn't look like it's in a hurry to get there, you know? If it is gonna get there, like, I think he'll have plenty of time later to get involved. We'll know if it's in a hurry to get there if there's like some sort of displacement. NQ is flying to 2000. Yeah, I do think like it could go to like 18.5. Like, you're okay if you want to sit in this. Kelly Clark CE 15-minute fair value gap and down. Definitely possible. You can also like mark out CE of the opening range gap. So a lot of different things. I mean, the way that I'm gonna know what's gonna happen is where it displaces. Not really anything right now. Jones FX. 5-minute order block seem to be holding price to the upside. Price is currently in a 1-minute fair value gap. Cool. But for me, I need a fair value gap. I don't like to go on just like an order block. I think that's like just lower probability. Jones, you can, I really appreciate the donations, but like also you can just join Bagel Club, then I'll see your stuff in green more likely to see your message. NQ, third accumulation in fair value gap. Yeah, it hasn't really reached to any significant fair value gap. Third accumulation. Okay, we'll see if this one holds then. Everybody who's see if this leg holds, or we will break it. It doesn't look too healthy. Especially since ESYM going lower, and we're like in negative territory for TIG for a while. Like, five-minute order blocks. Not so. Hey, let's see if this holds, you guys. If it closes below this, that's pretty bad news. You already had you had one dip here, so like if this one should have already been going up from here, if this was like an inducement, you know? It doesn't really look like this is gonna hold. Especially like this is not like a candle that took out liquidity, so I don't really see it as a high probability order block, you know? It is like, did you guys take a trade yet today? Let me take a DXY is holding first quarter of the daily fair value gap. Bagel Club for the win. True. Let me ask a question from the poll to everyone. Did you take a trade yet today? Kind of happy I missed like yesterday morning. I slept in for yesterday. It looked like it was chopped for the first hour, and then it decided to move up, right? Probably would have been similar to today, though. I probably would have just waited and had it pass me by. I think ICT also didn't get involved yesterday. I think I saw he let the trade pass him by in the morning to the upside. Did you take a trade yet today? Like I'm very much risk averse this morning, right? Because I said it hit ES hit a target. NQ pretty much did as well. Huge move overnight. Gotta take everything seriously. So it stalled. It didn't hit the that low. Interesting. Doesn't mean it won't though. Yeah. Yes, just continually just dripping lower, like, is tough. It's a tough cookie. See if some kind of displacement happens. But still, not much. Doesn't look like it is much. It's like such huge ranges. Like this is 40 points and 3 candles. Be careful. You see on the daily. Someone was saying that DXY is holding the top 25%. Like, what time frame were you saying? You know? Because I don't want to be looking at the 1 minute so much. You took out some. You count this as initial consolidation, right? When people are counting this, it doesn't really have to come all the way here. It can come here later. I can put this down like that, but not interesting that it came back to this level a couple of times. Does Apex have an activation fee? Yeah. And Apex and Topstep both have activation fees. For Topstep, it's 150. And then for Apex, it's like you can decide whether you want to do an $80 monthly or like around like 140, 150 lifetime. They're 1030 here. You took the long mentality, man. So 50-50, some people took a trade today and some people didn't. Cool. Oh, yeah, somebody took the long targeting this. Cool. Bear was very close to taking this low and it did not. Very interesting. Now it does look like it might be displacing on the 5, but we'll see where this candle closes. Forgot like what 20 this is. When you start watching price, like you get reminded of like past days in price action when it looked like this, and this reminds me of a day ICT was showing like went live I think early in 2023. It was an Event Horizon. We're starting to get displacements finally. Let's see if ES does anything. Breaking a short-term high with a displacement here. See how the candle closes as well. XY is sort of just consolidating around that area. This is your ES swing high all the way up here. Anyway, it's better to long NQ than ES for sure. This is where it stalled and it couldn't go lower, and ES made its low of day at that point. Interesting. So we'll see if it retraces. I'm very patient today. Seeing if I can set up I know that there are two windows. Setting up my Ninja. Make sure it's ready. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't have given me an entry anyway. So and this is highly risky. So if this is true, right, and it is going higher, right, that's your SMT at the first accumulation, then there should still be a second accumulation that happens. Let me think for a moment. What was I doing? Oh yeah. The Kanto. So just to make a note of it, it only started making displacements at like 10, 20-ish. Pretty much an hour after the open. Pretty nice. It's nice to have a 15-minute displacement, honestly. And then we'll have a 15-minute fair value gap, which is even better. What time is it? 10:25. Pretty interesting how ES hasn't even broken its like swing high yet. I'll have an alert for when it does. Might be soon. 15-minute fair value gap for. Very nice. Pretty nice. We have a 15-minute fair value gap that's now forming. So, the thing about where your projections are, essentially, what I would do is I would measure this failure swing, honestly, because at that point that was the SMT with ES, and so stalling here at like the -2 makes sense for it to retrace a bit. And within here, let's not have too many fibs going on though. That could potentially come all the way up here, or even go for that. Or the RTH gap is all the way up here. Not really, it's nice to see the displacements, right? So, I'm not gonna be buying up here, because that's like too much in the premium, but it's nice to see the displacements, and we can measure for the retracement appropriately. Okay, so first off, let me get rid of some of this. Okay, this one is what I wanted to see. -2, it's likely to retrace somewhere like this. Like, I'm not keen on thinking that. Wait, let me just also mark out this. Okay. Likely between 1 and this. 1 and 1.5. Yes, the law isn't even broken. It's kind of weird. It's not broken. It's 5-minute swing high at all. Okay, now I want to just measure this. Yeah, could definitely go to the OT entry later. Or let me just see, where's the OTE here? Here. Okay, I want to see if that does that line up with no, I was thinking between these two. It's just weird to me that ES still hasn't even broken its 5-minute swing high. DXY is not broken and low yet either. Kind of weird. So I mean, congrats to the people, Jones FX4 and Mentality Man. Yeah, took the risk here. They got paid for it. Good job. So essentially, what happened? The first 50 minutes essentially just chop, 45 minutes, and then just started to displace. Didn't really give any retracements on the 1 minute, just straight up. That's how the market goes sometimes. It just accumulates and then starts to distribute, but on ES at least. Your SMT here, but typically, I like at least the retracement to a 1 minute fair value gap. But yeah, it's really going now. I don't really have any type of FOMO, honestly. It's gonna be good for the afternoon, honestly. This is like setting up some pretty interesting framework. Right, it's forming. It formed 5 more minutes. Then there's like a 15-minute fair value gap here. Pretty large displacement here. We're at the midpoint of this one. Yes, still is not breaking that high. I'm gonna eat my oatmeal. Very large. Alright, this 15-minute thing, 15-minute fair value gap here. Let me just now see where it reached out for this failure swing. Yeah, it's just going. Then you're gonna retrace into here. Oh well. So now NQ is still down 1.04%. US is down 0.21. And the Dow down 1.3. And isn't that a little interesting how this doesn't even break a low? This is now breaking the swing high. YM is being YM. NQ super strong. Lines up with like a NWOG CE a little bit up there. I think. Yeah, I don't really have any regrets, honestly, so. I need to think. Setting up a pretty good framework for the afternoon. Or lunchtime. Let me think. XY still just hanging around. I'll have this marked out later, and then basically look at where the reaction within it. We have like a 15-minute displacement to the upside since the open. This is what I mean. It's like if it's a large range, then I'll wait for the reaction within it, right? Because it could technically like trace very deeply within it. So I'll probably look for like a change in state delivery within that. Preferably like the bottom 50% portion. It can keep going up though, so this could shift up higher for where the 50% is. But yeah, I'll have this marked out essentially. CE of that. But now you have a little 5-minute essentially 2022 model where it took some hourly and your S&T, and we'll see if it retraces to discount this or not. if you think that the draw is like higher, it could get to here, it could get to here. Data highs, this RTH gap, right? Let me see. What happened here? Oh, so sweet. Thank you, Rain Life. Tanya, we love you and love what you are doing for the ICT community. When there's no trade, do not force the market. Yeah. Well, essentially, I didn't really see much for my model. I mean, like, we'll see about ES. Of course, if I'm going long, you guys, like, I'm definitely going long NQ today and not ES, right? You want to... ES, like, you know, there's that Six Sisters theory, but ES has really not been, it's been way too lethargic. NQ has been the play for longs, for sure. And this is good. I'd much rather have, like, a large displacement to the upside, right? At least now the market's telling us something. Let me see this. Yeah. Oh, someone donated. Have a nice day, Jones FX. Yeah, nice job. Killing it, day in and day out. Jones FX, killing it. I don't understand everything, but I follow you. I'm French. Bonjour. Will I take a trade in AM session if it, like, retraces here and then changes to delivery type of thing? It needs to, it's such a large range here from this fair value gap to this. Right, this is like a 60-point fair value gap. So, I'll watch price within it. Waiting, team waiting. 50% is cleared, yeah. We could mark that out. I believe it did close above. Yeah, it did close above this. Right? So that's indicating bullishness. Can you trade US 30 with Apex? Yeah, it's called YM. You're one of the 20% that trades it. $10.50 macro. Yeah. See where this retraces. You just think. Their patience, yeah. Patience pays. Patience pays. That's all I gotta say. So I don't need this anymore because we know we closed above that. Okay. NQ inside previous daily fair value gap. Yeah. It's like when you think about these candles forming. Took this, some of this. What do you think the next hourly candle is gonna look like? I don't think it's gonna just shoot straight up here. Like, I have no FOMO. I think it typically has some sort of manipulation where it's gonna trace within this previous hour. So what we'll do is wait. And I'm gonna have maybe YM starts cooperating soon too, which will be good. If this is the range so far from 8:30 to here, like at least you want to buy. This is like the 50% of the range, so you at least want to buy below here, just like inside this 15-minute fair value gap, right? Like it's I'm not sure how deeply it's going to retrace. That's Game of Thrones. Did you notice the 1-minute breaker? Yeah, there was no entry there. There was no fair value gap. Unless you're talking about this, and this is just too early to get in, and I guess it's going lower. A lot of people have a lot of different theories in the chat. I mean, what you're gonna do is just see reaction. Like, all we can do is see how price reacts, right? And trade accordingly. Like, see how price reacts at your levels, and then see if there's a trade or not. Does the next hourly candle start yet? No. I think it's right. So since we hit that initial consolidation, liquidity, let's place them on the 15. I think it's possible you could target this. Or at least this 94 SCP. Like, I'll see what ends up happening here. right? It's quite huge ranges, so you have to make sure you manage your risk correctly, right? So like, if you have like a 34-point stop or something, that's why I like to show here. So what you have to do to double click on this, put your account size, right? I just put in the trailing, how much a drawdown is, and 150K, 4,500. How much you want to risk of that? I'll typically do 10%, right? I'll risk $450. It's literally like, I'm just doing $275 now. I put 5%. And then, okay, and then it's going to tell you here, how many can you take? So this is NQ and it's telling you like, for if you were to do this, I'm not doing this, like I'm waiting for the reaction. But let's say 5-point stop. It says here quantity 0.32. So that means you can only take 3 micros, right? Multiply by 10 for micros, right? Hi, did you watch Game of Thrones? You're somehow singing the signature tracks. Yeah, I'm humming that, aren't I? Yeah, I did. And fun fact, I actually never watched the last season because I remember I was in college at that point and I was studying for finals, and then like everyone was saying it was so bad or something, so I actually didn't watch it. I probably should at some point, but I've never found the time. Everyone was complaining about it though, for sure. I remember that. And what was the other thing? Whatever the episode was, maybe I did start watching the last season. Whatever the episode was, where like the dragons came to the wall at the north wall or something, and then they had their huge fight there. That was the last episode I watched. People tell me not to watch it then, so I'm like, okay, I don't know. Don't tell me what happened. I literally don't know. No spoilers in the chat, please. Please, no spoilers in the chat. What the F is the market doing? That shiz is odd. Yeah. I don't know what the market is doing. It's waiting. The thing is like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see the reaction. I'm not really keen on just buying 50%, right? Let's say like let's say you just want to buy a 50% retracement here. Like what? That's like this is a very large stop. I know someone who probably is. And then they're gonna go for like this, or I mean, it's still okay to do that, right? Like you're like just like what is your stop gonna be, like 60 points? Is your stop gonna be like the bottom of the fair value gap? That is pretty how would I say, not the best to just put a stop at the bottom of a fair value gap when there's like an order block, right? And especially since like yeah, so especially like, right, ES broke its swing high and then now retracing. And I'll see if it like gets picked up in like a fair value gap and discount. Anyone else catching this short? No spoilers after spoilering. I didn't really do any spoiler, did I? I just said like when the battle stopped. The battle. Yeah, if people want to short this, we can do that too. Play the ranges. It's just kind of tough for me to do that. Because I just don't see like what was your EDRA that's, this could just be literally just retrace into here and then go up higher and be super strong. So that's why I'm not shorting. You know, maybe like lunchtime induces in here. Right, maybe lunch takes out this low into this. You get a better better picture idea. Pretty tough though. Like I said, it's like, where do you think this 4-hour candle is going to close? Right, from 10 to 2? It's such a big one here. It is likely that this one is just going to close inside this one. And then, like, there's not going to be much action until, like, after 2, right? For, like, PM silver bullet. And we made, like, there's, like, an hourly fair value gap there now. But yeah, maybe for lunchtime, it does something like blah, 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 bull flag, and then inducement, change in state of delivery, and then you get that move up. Right? I want to go over actually my in the meantime, like I can go over like what my favorite kind of setup is. Like I've my A+ setup, I would say happens last week happened a few times, but let me just go back to Friday maybe. This one not so much. This is my A+ setup, I think right here. Go rewind this. Replay this to here. I'll probably make a video about this, like a bunch of examples. Okay, YM is finally breaking a short-term high. Okay, so A+ setup. It's not the best time for it, but still have like a higher draw on liquidity, etc. This happened, I think, during like 11-ish. Yeah. So it's when it takes out liquidity. Takes out some liquidity here, these lows into it completed a 15-minute fair value gap, right? This is the best when the candle that takes liquidity, it's a large one. That's my favorite kind of order block, right? Okay. And then displaces upwards, leaves fair value gaps and breaker. When the breaker and the fair value gap and the order block are sort of all in the same area, here, here, and here, and OTE. That's my favorite. Right? Even just it says local high, that's like almost 2R. But like it clearly went to previous week high. It's best to if you have higher time frame. And what day was it? I literally one day I chickened out. I think it was like Monday. That was the same setup I was in on Monday, and I literally stayed in. It took 3 minutes to deliver. This took a little longer because it happened during lunchtime. I think it was a Monday. I don't know. The day that I like literally canceled my trade because it was just too many SMTs. You need to think about that for a moment. What day was that? Maybe Wednesday. I can find that. Yeah, so people that are shorting, it's not looking good for. But yeah, essentially that's something like what I'll look for during lunch times. Let me think one more moment. It was that February 8th. Okay, that was Thursday. Thursday, same thing happened, right? Where it was chop and waited, was really patient. And I remember their SMTs, this came back into a discount and there was a 3-minute fair value gap that it filled, right? But you see right here, okay, if this fills in an imbalance also, right? So this is now intermediate term low, created a large candle there. That's my favorite kind of order block. And right here, this is a swing high and a fair value gap here. You just measure OTE. Which OTE just means 0.618 to like 786. I'll just go in this 618, right? So I think I had entered on this candle and just into this fair value gap. But yeah, this is like my A+ setup nowadays, right? Just to this local high is 2R. And then obviously all it was, yeah, I probably would have just taken that. Or to London highs. Oh yeah, previous week high was this Friday high. And we were still bullish. Right? I don't know why it doesn't want to do that for me. Around there. But that's my setup. That's my A+ setup for sure. Like, know how yours looks like. Then you know when to put down the risk. Looks like it was bought up there. It didn't come into a discount, but it did come into the discount of this. Like a general discount of the general range, but not of the leg up. So that's fine. I think lunchtime should be good. Maybe. Maybe. It's good to see that YM is breaking the short-term high on the 5 and ES continuing higher. See this live stream. DXY to the ground. That'll be good, right? Because right now it's just kind of hanging out around here. It's not really that. It's like the 15. It hit this twice. Not really done much. Just consolidating. Go for static if you want to get a challenge. Yeah, I think the best, right, for like, I think for most people, honestly, but especially for beginners, is to get a static account, because you don't have to keep worrying about like constantly having that drawdown trail behind you. So if you actually book a win, like, you're rewarded for it and you're building up some padding, so it's much more forgiving, right? Static means like it doesn't trail behind you. There's not really many on the market right now. Right? So if I think about it, like, there's one Apex offers for 625, like 100k static, but the drawdown is like 625. I would love for them to release another one. And then I think there's really not many. But right now, you guys asked for it. My Funded Futures has a static account that the drawdown is 1,500, right? And your profit target is 2,100. So a lot of, like, that's not even that bad. Like, that's probably one of the better ratios, right? I think, what is it, like, you can't lose 5%, your profit target is 7. Like, a lot of times you have to make like double whatever your drawdown is. So that's like pretty much one of the most friendly challenges right now. And they're only back for like 3 days, by the way. So if you want to get one, you have to, and you have to get it between now until February 15th. I have passed one literally yesterday. Just wait for your like A+ setup. Literally trade micros, because you only have 1,500 drawdown, but that's plenty. That's what I just suggest. Don't gamble it, because you can only get the discount's only 1 per person, by the way. So yeah, My Funded Future. Someone's asking which firm. You can click the link in the pinned, and it's in the description. But I mean, yeah, you can only get one of those codes per customer until February 15th. So don't gamble. Like, don't gamble in general, but like, you know, be wise. Try to get to that payout, because it's honestly, it's one of the easier ones. That's what I'm doing, is like I have mine. I'm just waiting for like my A+ setups to take it so then I can build that padding, right? It's the worst when you start a funded account, right? You pass a challenge and then you're kind of excited and you want to get into profit right away, and then boom, now you're in drawdown. Like your first trade putting in drawdown, it's like literally the worst. It's literally the worst. Can you pass in one trade? Yeah, you can pass it in one day, one trade. Do you have to pay that monthly subscription on the offer you mentioned? It's so on all these future firms, it's whatever you're paying upfront for that challenge, it's monthly until you pass, and then there's no fee for My Funded Futures, right? On some other firms, they might be cheaper upfront, but then you also have to pay an activation fee when you pass it, which ends up costing more. You lost 2 accounts because of the drawdown thing? Yeah, I've been there. Probably lost like, I don't know, probably like 10 accounts. But people, okay, so some people are asking more questions about it. Hold on, let me just like pull up the thing. Let me just pull it up since it's a slow market. Let me see. How does that look like on OBS? Oh yeah, right here. So this is what it is. You need to get 7% profit target for 2100. Your max loss is 1500. You can have 2 minis or up to 20 micros. I like that because because you can have up to 20 micros, right? Like you can partial and scale out. Drawdown type is static, which means after you make money, that's extra padding, that's extra drawdown, right? So let's say you make 500 in your first trade, now you have 2000 drawdown. And that's included for when you get into the funded stage, which is nice. Like it stays at 500 forever. So it's one of the few where when you're funded, it says drawdown does not move after withdrawal, right? Let's say you're at 30,000 and you make 1,500 now. You're at 31.5. Your drawdown is still max drawdown is still 28,500. So that's lit, honestly. Like it doesn't trail up. So now you could literally take out 1,500. Wait those calendar days. It's 14 calendar days. So like you could have you don't have to force a trade, right? Sometimes some other firms have a minimum amount of trading days, which is tough because it puts up some extra pressure on making a trade that day. But for this one, like you can have like 3 good trading days and then just wait the 14 calendar days to trade on other accounts and then take your money out. So yeah, that's what that is. So it's only until February 15th. It's 210, but there's no activation fee, there's no scaling, and there's no consistency rule. So that's what you're paying for, like that really good rules after you get funded, right? And it's not even difficult to get funded. So yep, you can use my code, and the link is in the description if you want to use it. Only 1 per customer. If you mess up, you're gonna have to pay like $300 for the next one. So don't gamble. Take it easy. I feel like I'm like one of the few streamers that like does not promote large, like, you know, gambling type of things, like, you know, large risk. It's kind of funny when people are like they ask about the affiliate stuff and I'm like, bro, like literally I've asked other streamers and I make 10 times less than them because I just don't gamble on my stream, really, and I don't promote gambling. I literally like tell you guys like, take it easy, try to instill patience, etc. Like my environment is not that high stress environment, right? So it's just a fact that people watching my stream just do not blow their accounts as much as other streamers, which I think is kind of funny. Sounds like an earthquake when I move my mic. I'm sorry. Don't get it twisted. Don't gamble. Do not start gambling. Gambling is not entertainment. Entertainment only. You won't break even. You won't win. That's like low-key hilarious. Okay. Ben Fishing, can you execute trades on TradingView with MFF? Yes. If you make 1.5k and now you are at 31.5k, if you withdraw that 1.5k profit, you now have do you now not have any drawdown? Is that how it works in non-static? That's in non-static accounts, yeah, but this is a static account, so you'll have still the 1500 drawdown. But yeah, typically in the futures industry, it's not 30k, it's like the lowest is like 50k, right? So let's use that as an example. Or let me just use a 150k as an example, because that's what I use. So the 150k on the end of day drawdown and the static, it will trail until you're plus 100 or plus 0 on the initial balance. So after you make 4.5k, you have to keep a buffer essentially, right? So that's how those work, because futures firms are only one phase. So that's kind of like your second phase, technically, right? That's how I think of it. And it's one of the harder parts because it's like mental. It's like a mental battle. And yeah, so then if in a standard one, if you make 4,500 and you technically withdraw everything, most firms, if not all, they don't let you withdraw all of that 4,500, right? There's like different rules for different firms. But whatever out of that 4,500 is your drawdown then, the money that you made. But on the static account, it just stays at 28.5 the whole time. But yeah, so best way to approach that is to just be patient, wait for your setup. And if you have a losing trade, continue to wait. Like, you don't have to get back in. Right, this is what I think will happen during lunch. Thanks so much. You literally helped me with patience, blew more than 30,000 before, but I'm on the right track now. Great. I'm very happy. How many funded accounts do you have, Tanya? 3 with MFF. I have like 2 with Apex, but with Apex I haven't traded it so much because of the tough environment, and I know with those drawdowns, like, it's all a game, right? So you have to wait for the low resistance liquidity runs with those trailing drawdowns, right? I've been burned in the past. If you're thinking that you're in a high resistance liquidity run, I would just wait for those the intraday trailing drawdown type of stuff. And for Top Step, I have 2. I love you. Okay, thanks. Love you too. Love everybody here. Any other questions? Tanya, I was in profit for the day, but I took an L because I pressed the sell button instead of the buy button. New York session got a lot of volatility. Yeah, it's quite a large range. I want to see, like, this is my plan, you guys, for the day. My plan is seeing the reaction within this 15-minute fair value gap. And I would like to see an inducement within it, which means, like, I would like to see some sell side taken into it, into the discount, hopefully. and then a change in state of delivery on a smaller time frame for higher. That's what it would be my perfect. What was the easiest prop firm for you to pass, Tanya? I think my funded futures is the easiest to pass because it's on even on the expert accounts, it's end of day drawdown, and you can pass in 1 day. So like you could literally pass in 1 day. I've done that. Tanya, I love you. Can I have your phone number? I live in Nairobi, Kenya. I do not give my phone number out online. 877-393-4448. Who knows that commercial? How much do you pay after passing a 100K account in Apex? I literally I don't know. You can check that online. Depends. Is it 100 static or is it 100? It's 100 probably. You're talking about the 100 standard. I don't know. It ranges from like 80 to like 100 something. How do I journal my trades? I use TradeZella. Link is in the description. I just import them. Yo, the Optimum commercial. Can I explain inducement? Inducement is when it takes out a short-term low or short-term high within a point of interest. It's like, oh, it'll like, let's say right now, I honestly would love it to just like consolidate here a little more, right? And then whoever is buying in here and thinking this is like a bull flag or whatever, putting their stop here too tightly, they'll get out of the position, stopped out. That's inducement. Then that's what that is. That's one of my also like a pretty nice thing to see when it coincides with other PD arrays. Like if it's in a fair value gap and it's supported by like an order block, then I'm just gonna buy right there, right? I'm not, because it's already bullish, right? I'm not gonna then wait for the reaction if the risk is worth it. But you know, here it's such a large range, it doesn't make sense to do anything like that. Oh shoot, can't see the chart. Let me go back to the stream. Oh man. So this is what I mean. It's like if we sort of consolidate and then take out this short-term low of the people that are choking their stops to this, then get out of the position, stopped out, induced. And that would be nice. That's what I mean by inducement. I think it, especially if it like starts like, you know, going a little higher here. Looks like it's breaking out, right? It's getting people, inducing the longs, and then it stops them out. That would be optimal. Do you think MFF is going to offer a higher static account other than the 30K? I don't think so, because that's the I don't think so. Just theoretically, like I haven't really talked to them about this, but we're thinking about this, like prop firms, right? They make money when people fail the challenges, like, right? So if they make an easier challenge, then it's a higher risk for them, right? And any static account is basically like you are trading your own money, right? Because when you have your own money, let's say you have $1,500, whatever you make now, that's added to it. It's how much you can lose. So if they give like higher drawdowns and stuff, then there's more likely of a chance that people can gamble and then be right and put them out of a lot of money, right? So I think that's also probably why it's one per customer as well, because it's just it's like the easiest challenge on the market. Why am I bullish, not bearish? Because we displaced higher. Hello, how's the day going? Someone said this is exactly my setup. Yeah, this is what I would love to see during lunchtime. Do you have to be a US citizen to get funded? No. There are like some banned countries, but like you can look. A lot of people I'm not a representative, I'm not customer service, so I'm not gonna have like the best I would say if you have more questions, just go to their Discord, it's on their website. They can help you out. Along with every other prop firm. They have pretty good customer service all around. So this is one thing I think more people should do. It's like, please read the frequently asked questions before you buy a challenge. And read your contracts, right? Because it doesn't make sense if you're buying something, if you're putting your money behind something, like, and then later you find out about a rule or something, and then you get angry. It's like, please read the rules, and in general, don't like take someone else's word for something online. Like, I get a lot of questions like, hey, does this work on Forex? Does this work on crypto? Try it out yourself. Don't take my word for it, right? Yeah, I'm not customer service. I'm not a salaried member of the firm or anything. So, my honest opinion, big dogs made bank and went home. Thus, lower liquidity trying to run up. Lifted strength. Yeah, my humble opinion. Displacement means a large candle with a fair value gap. Yeah, please read the frequently asked questions. Do these prop firms have unlimited funds or something? They just giving 50,000 accounts to thousands of traders. I honestly don't know how much money they have. Like, they typically have backing, but they obviously make a ton of money off of people failing challenges and whatever they want to put for their marketing budget, right? I don't know. Limited strength. Yeah, it's not when it's a free 50K account, let's say someone's giving out. You're not getting first of all, if you're getting the challenge, and I think out of all the accounts, 20% pass the challenge, right? And then it's what is it, like 1,500 max drawdown. Some firms have daily drawdown. That's all there to protect those firms, like and then what was the other thing I wanted to say? Can't remember right now. Yeah, and then like 20% pass the eval. So if you pass the eval, good job. But that's only pretty much the easier part of the battle. The battle is really just to get to the payouts. And what I would love is if these prop firms put out statistics for how many actually get to pay out, right? They don't really do that. If regulations do come in, that would be a great regulation to put. But what I've heard is like, I don't know, like 2% really get to pay out. That's just hearsay. So no, don't rush it. A lot of people, they get really excited when they get to a funded account. Yeah. The people that I know that have been most successful, they keep their risk small. So literally my goals with these like funded accounts are more like keep it for 30 trading days, right? Because most people blow up. And if you focus on just making sure you keep it, right, then you're focused on risk more rather than the money. And then in the end, like you're gonna end up making money if you're more focused on risk. Yeah, exactly. It's all And also when you're trading for these firms, like it's on a simulated stage until like you're good enough that they put you up to live, right? And then you're actually trading with real money. But up until that point, I mean, that's basically how prop firms work. It's like when you're on the simulated and you're making money, they're basically giving you, and you make it to the payout, they're giving you money that they made from failed challenges most of the time, right? Pretty much. So then if you're proving yourself to be like good, then they're moving you up to live to mitigate their own risk, right? So then they don't get wiped out from good traders. But it's a good sign whenever a prop firm moves traders up to live, right? That means like they're going to stay around because of that. They're mitigating their risk, and then they're more legit. Be careful if a prop firm is only really doing simulated things. Like I think with the Forex firms, that was what was happening there, right? I don't know. I'm not too sure. Thankfully, I never really had a Forex account, so. Yeah, catch 22, literally. Trade with Tim, I use Replicanto. It's in the frequently asked questions in the description. It's the same software that the Apex one uses. Like I think they license out the software to them. So I just use Replicanto. Yeah, payouts are coming from the payments from the evaluations, exactly. And if like 80% of people are failing. I don't know about Trade of Tone. I don't know because I don't use that one. Show a view out my window. It's literally like snowing and it's like fog, but like, it's all like you can't really see out the window because it's snowing a lot. What was someone asked? When did I start trading? I think like June 2020. You got burned today, Sean? You did great during London and gave it all back an hour ago. You felt invincible and then got humbled. Happens to the best of us. It's pretty much never let your mood and your highs get too high or like your lows get too low. Yeah, market humbles everybody. Happens to me too. It's like, oh, you're on a winning streak and then you're on a losing streak. So before you know it, that's the conditions change. You always gotta adapt, right? Anyway, I think that's what I'm gonna look for, and I'm gonna look for it during like lunchtime ish or 1:30. But yeah, I mean, pretty good day reading price action. Stayed out of the chop during the first hour. Now we have some displacement up, so I would like to see a continuation. Tanya, after February 15th, can you still buy the 30K static? No. Like, it's only until February 15th because, that's why they're limiting it, because it is, like, pretty much the easiest to pass and best rules, so it's a risk to the firm, and they're just, introducing it, right? They're introducing it now, so they're, like, testing it out, how it goes, right? With the traders. So that's why there's just, like, limited time. What's the max I've made in a month? I think that was like the 2021 meme stock frenzy made like probably 25K that month. Not life-changing money, but good money. But that was crazy. Who was around for that? The GameStop craze. No, don't ever show outside your window, Sean. You're funny. That is too funny. Don't bright and sunny Toronto in Canada. It's better than New York. Okay, it's doing so far what I kind of want it to do. I want it to develop like some like quasi like pseudo support. That would be good, and then later to take it out. It might not happen. This might not happen, and then I'll just miss the trade. But that's what I would like to see for later. Yo, Michael Smith. That's exactly what I had. I had GameStop calls right before GameStonk, which is when I had the nut night as well. Elon Musk just tweeted that GameStonk, and then it completely it was a catalyst for what was gonna happen for the gamma squeeze anyway. It went from, I don't know how much it was it jumped like 100 points literally. It was insane. It went to 400 that night. But yeah. GameStonk. Yeah, that's literally what he tweeted. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Not really any trades for me in the morning, which is fine. Like I'd honestly rather just miss that. It's fine. We'll see if the afternoon gives me what I'd like. Other than that, thanks for coming. I hope everybody stays safe today, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9:15 a.m.